Hi everyone, welcome to my new YouTube channel. Thank you for being here as we talk about the Aries new moon that is coming in April 15th. It's at 6:57 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or in the early morning on April 16th. That's 1:57 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So this is a really big new moon. The Aries new moon is typically the beginning point of the new cycle, the new energy that was brought in, and it really gets things going. Because as with every lunation, the sun and the moon are right here together in Aries. So that's the feminine and the masculine, and they are connecting here in the pioneering energy of Aries. So in your chart, you want to find where 26 degrees of Aries is, because this is where this renewal energy is coming through for you. It's where you're going to feel a sense of I'm ready now, and emphasis on the word now, because that's how Aries lives. It lives in the now. Impatience, impulsive, I want to do this, let's get this party started. So this part of your chart, whichever house 26 degrees is where this is coming through for you. And this is a really important new moon, my friends, and I'm going to talk about why that is here in this video. I would love to hear how you've been feeling as April has progressed, because it's been a little bit of a rocky, crunchy month. It's been about readjusting. It's been about taming your impatience and reeling in your expectations. And I'd love to know how that has been showing up for you, because I think it helps other people to know that they're not alone when you read the comments and you think, okay, it's not just me. So if you don't mind posting something, that would really help other people see how you've been moving through this time. Now, this new moon is, of course, 2 weeks after the last full moon, which was on March 31st. And if you watched that video that I put together for you, that was a big stop sign. You know, that was a time of going slow and ending the month with a real sense of awareness and mindfulness of what you want next, as well as trusting the divine timing. Well, here we are now approaching the middle of April with this new moon, and it's more about things getting started. It's more about movement and finally, and yes, it's happening. So let's look at how this is all showing up, and I'm trying to adjust this here. Now, this chart is from the Mountain Astrologer. It is a magazine that comes out 6 times a year, so every 2 months, and it has these charts in it. And it's an excellent publication, whether you are brand new to astrology or you are an expert yourself. Great content, great articles. I am not affiliated with the Mountain Astrologer. I just love it, and I want more people to find it. So I'm sharing that with you, and I want to share with you that these are the charts that are used in the Mountain Astrologer. Every chart is just set at the 0 degrees Aries ascendant. So the house placement here is simply to focus on the energy of the planets. And so these are all the planets, and these here in the middle, these are called the aspects in here. And this is basically how the planets are talking to each other, how they're interacting, what the energy dynamic is. So that's what this all is. So when you see this chart, you can see, wow, there's a lot right here in Aries. We have, let's start here, the moon and the sun in Aries, and they are conjunct Uranus, who's at 28 degrees of Aries, almost done in Aries. Over here at 23 degrees is Eris, known as the goddess of discord. And then right here we have Mercury, who's at 4 degrees of Aries. So Mercury has been retrograde since March 22nd. He's stationed retrograde at 16 degrees of Aries, and he's gone back to 4 degrees of Aries. And so in this lunation chart, in this new moon, just today, during this new moon, Mercury in Aries at 4 degrees Aries has stationed to go direct. That's what that S means. That S means station, as in stop, as in Mercury's not moving. So there's a sense of stillness. A stillness with this new moon, as in everything that's been perhaps driving you crazy or making you impatient. Get still and get quiet, because this new moon is blessing us with the ability to come back to center and to just sit for a second, to just sit in the here and now, to be present in the moment. If you need help with that, you just tune into your breath, tune into your breathing and sit in that. So one of the important energies here is that Mercury is stopped. What else is fascinating about this chart is that one other planet is also stationing as well. We go up here to Capricorn energies, okay? Saturn is at 9 degrees of Capricorn. S, stationing to go retrograde. S, stop and stillness. It's very rare to have two planets both stationing at the same time. So there is a sense here of pause, and what do you need to do to catch your breath and take a moment. Now the new moon is actually when you look outside and you can't see the moon. It's blocked. And it's beginning a new cycle, and the energy is blocked. New moons are all about new beginnings and intentions, and perhaps you know that. But they're also a really quiet time in the sky, because the energy of the sun and the moon are converged together, and there's a sense of them meeting hands. I always think of it as the namaste, where you bring your palms together. The moon and the sun are saying namaste to each other. They're honoring each other. And there's a quiet. So with this new moon, we have a lot of big energies, but we can't escape the fact that we're also being asked to take a minute, to stop, to reassess, and really consciously determine what we want before going forward. So let's look at some more energies here. This is a pretty dynamic new moon. So both the sun and the moon just went over Eris, the goddess of discord. It's an asteroid, and she stirs up trouble. She makes things maybe a little mean. Maybe she creates things that you didn't realize. Like she's dark, if you will. She's the angry feminine. Now she serves a purpose, because if you look through the history of time and all the ways that feminine energy has not been honored, Eris represents the ways that feminine energy has been victimized, powerless, cruel, the violence. I mean, think of all the categories, right, that can come up around the way feminine energy has been disrespected on our planet. So Eris serves a purpose in that she helps us get the anger out. And it's actually beautifully timed with the Me Too movement, and with the fact that we're not going to take it anymore, and the fact that this stuff has to come up, and it's okay to be angry and it's okay to be pissed. That's all Eris, the goddess of discord, who's saying, this is how I feel, and I'm angry, and maybe it's not pretty, but it's valid. It's valid. So that energy just has been ripe here with this new moon. And now the sun and the moon are moving forward, and they're going to be connecting with Uranus. Now the sun will connect with Uranus in about 2 days, but the moon will connect with Uranus faster, because the moon moves. Well, the moon is actually going to connect with Uranus within hours of this new moon. So this creates a really dynamic energy here. This is the sign of revolution, of revolutionary new beginnings, of spiritual awakenings, that sense of this is who I am. And that is really what this new moon is pushing you to claim. This is who I am, because the sun and the moon are conjunct Uranus and Aries, and there's things you're just done with, and you're like, I'm complete, I am free, I am on my own, I am my own person. I am independent. This is rebellion and feeling rebellious. This is saying, well, this is my freak flag and I'm going to wave my freak flag and I don't care what all y'all think. This is a really big energy. And so it's interesting because we have these two planets that are stopping. And I'm feeling like these two planets are stopping and this energy is taking center stage in your life. There is a need for you to be brutally honest with yourself about who you are right now in all of your being. Because this energy is actually a new sense of self that's coming in, that you're ready to declare. I mean, this is the sense of you coming out, right? Like coming out in any form, whether that's sexually, racially, gender, your habits, who you are. It's coming out, right? It's saying this is who I am. And we do that first with ourselves. So there's something in this new moon that you are really meant to recognize. Now, Uranus is about technology and higher consciousness. It's about bigger visions and genius. It's about metaphysical and sci-fi interests. It actually rules astrology. Uranus is where we want to go, the forward path, the quantum leap. It is cosmic consciousness. And I feel like this energy, since Uranus has been in Aries, this is what has been shaking you up and shaking up your life to help you see what you are not. It's like you've quit the job, you quit the relationship, you quit the life, you moved places, you couldn't take anything that felt too small, that wasn't you. And this is all the Uranus energy. And so this is being highlighted right now in your feminine energy, in your masculine energy. And it's a proud declaration of self and independence. So I think we're going to see this theme really strongly in the middle of April, the sense of this is who I am. And because of that, I feel too like we're going to just have a huge expansion in consciousness. This is UFOs. This is aliens. This is other galaxies. It's Star Trek. It's Star Wars. It's like everything that isn't quote unquote normal. It's that sense of I love what's different about me. So with this new moon, can you embrace what is different about you while understanding that your difference, whatever you think makes you different, is actually a universal experience. It's universal. So there's this need here to just be real with yourself. And depending on where this energy is in your chart, that could be private or public. Now, the first 6 houses here in a chart are your inner world, your inner self. So if you have Aries energy in these first 6 houses, this is your self-knowingness. Now, the top 6 houses up here are the outer world, the other relationships in the outer world. So if your Aries energy is up here, you might experience this new moon energy through another person or another experience or through something else out in the world. This new moon is meant to break you free of a cage or break you out of an egg. If you're in the middle of an egg and you're ready to break out and break free, it is the butterfly emerging from a cocoon. And we are beginning a new cycle here that really gets started because not only is this the new moon in Aries, but now Mercury is going to be going direct and recovering territory that he first covered since March 9th. So you might revisit some themes here from March 9th, and then Mercury will clear his shadow May 5th. That means he will move into new territory. He will move into 17 degrees of Aries May 5th, and that is when he'll be in this new space of solutions, ideas, thoughts, projects, conversations. So we're still in a cleaning up phase. And you could finally have breakthroughs around something that you need to do next, that you're ready for. The path seems more evident. All of that is happening here in the middle of April, but it's really going to get stronger after May 5th. Okay, so we're covering, Mercury's going to be covering his tracks, and I hope you feel that momentum. And I hope it feels good, like you're glad you waited, or you understand now why you had to put something on pause or just be gentle with something because it really wasn't time, but now you'll feel like it's time to move forward. So that's all of our Aries energy here. Now, as I've been talking about for a few videos now, we also have Team Capricorn, and that's a powerful team up there. It is Pluto at 21 degrees of Capricorn, Mars at 16 degrees of Capricorn, and Saturn at 9 degrees of Capricorn. Now this is Vesta. Vesta is an asteroid. She's at 2 degrees of Capricorn, and not as powerful or as important, but still makes up Team Capricorn. So what Team Capricorn is about is commitment, your time that you invest in something, the practical choices, the realistic commitments, what you can follow through on, what serves the long term. So all this Capricorn energy, which is powerful, is saying that you can't just rush off here and get started with everything that you want to do. Capricorn puts on the brakes. So there's this part of you, your Aries energies that are really ready, raring to go. And we've had the delays. And my perspective is that that is all divine timing, my friends, because as soon as more of these planets move into Taurus, it lines up. Because Taurus will then trine each of these planets in Capricorn. And here's a beautiful example. Venus, she is at 19 degrees of Taurus, and at 19 degrees, she is trining Mars at 16 degrees and Pluto at 21 degrees. Venus in Taurus loves beautiful things. She is an earth goddess. She loves the ways that we can connect with the planet and with the five senses. So she's about music and books and wine and beautiful flowers and wonderful ways that we can enjoy our earthly experience. And as she now connects with Mars, that is beautiful for your feminine and masculine linking up and making something happen together. It's also powerful for Venus to be connected here with Pluto. Powerful relationships, things moving forward, great for money. Venus in Taurus, she likes the security and stability of money. So this is really good for being practical about your finances. And when you do that, look at this. Mars and Pluto support you. So I feel there's great money energy here. And with the planets moving forward, it means that it's time for that idea you've had, that project, that new service or offering to go. It's go time with this new moon so you can make some money, right? Let's make money and do it in a way that is really for the long term. I mean, there's long-term potential here when Venus connects up with anything in Capricorn. So if you are ready to perhaps negotiate a raise at work or do something that demonstrates your self-worth, other people will see it. Authorities will see it. The higher-ups will see it. This energy says, yeah, we agree with that. We see where you're coming from. We understand. And they're supporting Venus. So I just love that right now. Whatever you can do to get your finances in order could be very beneficial. Now, the other dynamic in this energy signature is that Venus is opposing Jupiter at 21 degrees of Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is also another money sign. It's financial energy that you share with other people. Typically, Scorpio is about what you owe, whether it's your debts, your loans, your credit card. It includes insurance, your taxes, your monthly gym fees. It can also be the money you share with other people. And Jupiter in Scorpio is bringing in the resources we need to take things forward. Because look at how 21 degrees here is syncing up with 21 degrees of Pluto and Capricorn. So there's transformative financial energy in the mix. You are really meant to go for what you're worth. Now, the opposition from Jupiter makes it more extreme, makes you more perhaps opinionated or really stuck in a position. It's actually the sign of I'm not going to negotiate. It's this or nothing. But I feel like we're meant to stay in the conversation and see where something can go, perhaps for benefits that are powerful for the long term. This is also the energy of being stretched, being financially stretched. If you overspent and that giant credit card bill just showed up, this actually feels like you could have a solution come through, that something could develop, but you do want to be financially responsible because we can go too far. When any planet is opposed by Jupiter, we can be stretched or we can go too far off the deep end. So don't go overboard, rein it in. For example, don't, if you're asking for a raise or you want to negotiate it, understand what is most likely reasonable in your field or expertise. You can't just double your own salary, but the Jupiter presence here favors money. So I really hope that shows up for you or that you feel it because it's time, right? I know that so many of you are just ready for these financial breakthroughs to happen. And I think this new moon is going to bring that in. Now, a few more things to share with you here. The Aries new moon means that the main energy is ruled by Mars because Mars is the ruler of Aries. Okay, so then what we do is we say, okay, well, let's figure out more of the story by looking at what Mars has to say. So Mars is up here in Capricorn, 16 degrees, like we've talked about. He does really well in Capricorn because he can take charge, get things done. Mars in Capricorn has discipline, has stamina. He is in it for the long term. I always think of him as a military general. We're going to stay in this until it's done. We're going to be strategic. We're going to be reasonable. And we're going to get results. We're going to achieve something. Achieve. So this is actually that part of you that is in it for the long term. And whatever you start now, it has the potential to go for the long term. So I want to show you something else here. Because as we're looking at this chart and I say, okay, Team Aries and Team Capricorn, and they're very different and they have different energies, here's how you can think of it. We begin in Aries, okay? It's the first sign of the zodiac. It starts a new cycle. As the planets move around every sign and they go around, when they meet up with these planets in Capricorn, specifically Saturn and Pluto, they're going to meet up with these two the end of this year, the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019. That is your timeline for what you're starting now. Because the sun is going to conjunct Saturn and make something real. And then it's going to conjunct Pluto. The sun conjunct Pluto in Capricorn is going to really show the power, the results, what's come about, what's been created and transformed. So here's what I'm going to say. Whatever you start now, give yourself until the end of this year or the beginning of 2019. That's where you're in it for the long term. Mars in Capricorn, he likes that because he's saying, yes, think beyond right now. So think of this in terms of a weight loss program, an exercise program, a new project, something you're beginning that is really true for you, right? And it has to be true for you or it won't have legs. If it isn't in alignment with who you really are, which is a requirement of this new moon, it won't stand the test of time. But if it's really truly you, you will have all the energy and all the resources and time and everything to make it to the end of this year and to reap the benefits of that new beginning. So isn't this cool to see the cycle? So understand that we are being asked to go the distance here. And can you commit to that? Because if you can, you'll get even more rewards. Now, the planets are all bunched up, and that's going to change as we go into May. Just wait till you see the May charts. They look really different. So we're meant to focus on the Aries areas of your chart and the Capricorn areas of your chart. You're going to start something now. You're going to go the distance with it, and you're going to give yourself until the end of this year to see the results, to see what transpired. And I feel like it's going to be really rewarding. And oh yeah, the money's going to come through. Okay? So I hope this has given you great insights into how to make the most of this new moon. And I'll be back with the next full moon chart, which is always a special full moon because it's the Buddha full moon. And I'll be talking to you more about what that means in my next video. Thank you so much. I look forward to your comments below. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing. And we're going to spread the good vibes and help more people with the most of their journey right now. Thanks, friends, and I'll see you soon.